Thank you for listening and welcome to the Life Radio Show, a proud member of the SJ Network and Breaking the Fourth Wall Entertainment. I'm your host, Don Smith. It was an absolute pleasure talking to the wonderful Tina Marie Trempert, host of the Psychedelic Podcast. We learned a lot about zombies and flies. If you enjoy the show, like and follow the Life 1069 on Facebook and Don Smith Comedy on Twitter, or tune in live on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can stream the show live at WWSU1069.org.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
This podcast is part of the SJ Network. Go to s-j-network.com for more great podcasts.
I'm in the middle of nowhere right now by choice because of COVID, the Rona.
Yeah.
I could say all of that. Yeah, I went ahead and ordered an aluminum baseball bat, a pink taser, and a whole bunch of Vienna sausages when that happened, because I thought the zombie apocalypse was coming inevitably, and the baseball bat never came. So thank you, Amazon.
Yeah, the most important piece.
Right? I mean, there was a whole plan. Knock them out with the bat. Well, tase them, knock them out with the bat, and force feed them Vienna sausages.
That makes perfect sense. That works for like a lot. That not just zombies. I don't know. Did tasers work on zombies? I don't know. We'll just go ahead and get right into it. By the way, this is the Life Radio Show. We're already recording, so let's just go ahead and keep this conversation going, because I'm curious, as I'm sure my listeners are curious, whether or not tasers will work on zombies.
This is a very valid question, and it's one that we have to be careful for. I mean, things are going to be happening soon, inevitably. I mean, it's in all the movies, it's on all the TV shows. So zombies are going to happen. Be prepared. Make sure you get a taser just in case. Otherwise, just go for the head.
Yeah. I'm curious to see if a taser will work. And if there's the first zombie sighting, I'm showing up with a taser. I'm going to have backup. I'm going to have a baseball bat, because, you don't want that. That's the mistake I see on a lot of these zombie movies. Right off the bat, they're just wasting ammo.
Oh, I know.
They're
like all over. And come on.
The large amounts of ammo, you have to save that until there are far more zombies. If there's just a couple running around, that's baseball bat time. And,
yes,
and
definitely.
time to see if the taser is going to work.
Have you seen Train to Busan?
I have not. Are you there? Did we freeze up already? It wouldn't be the Life Radio Show without some technical difficulties. It's kind of my show.
Is that a common occurrence?
It is.
It's your vibes. What is that? What is that going on?
I don't know. There's
internet dies.
Yeah, there's sometimes there's just too much awesome for the show to handle. That's what I say.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I wanted to ask you if you'd seen Train to Busan, because we were on the topic of zombies, and that got me excited.
I have not seen that, no.
Okay, well, spoiler alert, guy with a baseball bat is the true hero of that movie. You've got to check it out. It's Korean, which I used to live in Korea, so I have a strong impulse to watch anything Korean.
Nice. I will definitely have to check that one out, because anytime there's zombies getting taken out with baseball bats, I'm on board for that.
And they're on a train. Imagine that.
Even better.
Right?
Let me introduce my guest real quick. Tina Marie from the Psychedelic Podcast.
Psyche with a hyphen.
Psyche.
Yeah, the
Psyche. Psychedelic. Okay. Have to get that right. But no, I love the idea of baseball bats and zombies. I was in a movie a while back where I was taking people out with a croquet mallet, and it was a zombie movie as well. So that was a fun time, because we were looking around for something. I had to disable 3 people, and we're looking around. We got all these prop guns and prop knives and swords, and I see a croquet mallet laying on this just leaning against the wall that had no business being there. And I was like, guys, I found my weapon.
Ingenious. I mean, there's probably so many things you can find laying around that it could actually take out a zombie. That's ingenious, though.
A croquet mallet. That's you have to know how to wield one, and not everybody can do it and look great.
Are you like a croquet mallet slinging cowboy zombie killer?
No, I am in that movie. I was Reggie Bob Ziegler, a very a fairly slow redneck kid, not kid, but very childlike with a very sadistic streak to him.
Fun.
Those
are the best parts.
It was a very fun character to play. I don't even think it was written that way. That's just the first scene had to be ad-libbed because it was a location mix-up, and we ended up somewhere where that script wasn't going to work for him, so I had to ad-lib everything. So I made him a little bit crazy. So.
Oh, well, that's amazing. You get to use your creative abilities. I love that about acting, like using that creativity in your own mind, taking what the director or what the writer wants and giving them 110% better.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So tell me a little bit about the Psychedelic Podcast, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, so we are a large panel of people that are completely non-experts on various topics. We talk about lucid dreams, astral projection. We've talked about animal versus human consciousness, but we also talk about things like Asperger's and things in the psychology field, because I just simply have always had an interest in that and social sciences. So we kind of delve into how every aspect of the human mind works. And my favorite episode was the male versus female brain and how men are linear thinkers and women are spatial thinkers. And that blew my mind. I didn't know anything about that. I mean, I can see now how everything makes sense when they say that men are from whatever planet. I think it's Mars, and then women are from Venus.
Yeah.
So
that sounds right to me.
Yeah, and then I do a lot of live streams, which they're gaining a lot of traction with multiple people, entrepreneurs, celebrity type people, and that's a lot of fun. But that's separate from our actual podcast because I like to keep things pretty structured but really fun and informative. But because there's so many different perspectives and all of my panel members are so different, it offers the listeners different viewpoints that they can draw their own conclusions from.
Interesting. Now, what sparked your interest in these kind of subjects? Just a lifelong interest, or was there something in particular that you thought I want to do? I want to know more about that and talk to more people about this kind of thing.
Probably has to do with some childhood traumas or, stuff of that nature. But I also think because I'm what you call a third culture kid, or in my case, it should be more like fifth culture kid, has to do with a lot of moving around and learning all these different cultures and just seeing and meeting so many people and watching how they work with each other and how they talk and how different everyone in humanity is. So I was that weird kid in sixth grade reading psychology books for fun. And so I just have always loved everything about the human mind and how people work.
Interesting. Now, why were you moving around so much out of curiosity?
My dad was a diplomat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense then. So what are some of the places that you've been to, visited, or lived?
Oh,
now, you mentioned Korea.
Yes, this is so memorized. Okay. I was born in Japan, raised mostly in Korea, but I went from Japan to Texas to England to France to Germany, back to Texas to Daegu, Korea, to the Philippines, to Seoul, Korea, back to the Philippines, back to Texas. Then I went North Dakota, North Carolina, Virginia, Texas again.
Okay. And landed in Texas again, and now here you are. In the middle of nowhere, talking about zombies on the Life Radio show. So that's That's the circle of life, I guess, is what.
Yes, and I'm going to end up somewhere else probably again. I don't mind. I mean, I keep the friends that are closest to me in every country that I go, and I pick up on the languages in every country, and it's really fun. You don't just go to a country to go be with your fellow Americans. You go there to learn the culture of the people in that country. So I had a wonderful time in Korea. I actually speak it better than the languages I'm supposed to know. Can you guess
Oh, wow.
what I am?
I would not want to venture a guess.
No, go ahead. I get it all the time without me asking.
Well, you said you were born in Japan, but I don't know. I don't know. I can't even guess.
I'm Filipina Norwegian, so I'm a Viking ninja.
Okay, I would have never guessed, but
Yeah.
but what's not to love about a Viking ninja? That's just fantastic.
It's random. I mean, I've had this tall, very white father and this really short, nicely olive tanned skinned mom, completely different heights, and I'm right there in the middle. So it worked out for me with modeling because I wasn't 5 feet tall.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
6'7" either.
You just took the best from both sides.
Thank goodness.
just
I mean,
met
I
me.
have this though. This is Norwegian. This 5 head.
Oh, okay. That's all right. So you're a model, or you're an actor as well, or?
Yes, I do
Okay.
both.
Okay. Well, tell me how you got started in acting.
Oh, well, it actually started a long time ago. I mean, this doesn't really count, but I was always a musical theater kid. That's how I started loving acting and just music, because I love to sing as well, and used to record at Carrie Underwood's studio in Nashville. Worked with Dave Bechtel. He's an amazing producer. And from there, I graduated high school, started a entertainment company where I would host events, networked with everybody in the city that I moved to from Pinehurst, North Carolina, moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. Did really well with that, with all the networking and all of the events that were model, music, entertainment based things. I went to audition for a bunch of different little indie films. I did a lot of commercials. I was the first blue electronic cigarette commercial. It was all over the billboards, but it was, it's been a journey. I'm actually shooting this weekend for Bill Foster.
Yes.
So I'll be on set there. So I'm going to be
Is that
a
for
pioneer.
Showdown on the Brazos? Is that the one that
Yes.
he's still? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently it's pronounced Brazos, which
Ah.
I just learned. Yeah.
Okay.
I live here.
Well,
I
I
just
just learned that too.
Yes. So my daughter, my husband, and I will get to be pioneering Texans.
Nice.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I've never been in a time period piece before.
Yeah, there you go. So how is this your first time back on the set since the whole COVID mess? Is that?
Yes, I haven't been on set since November 2019. So I miss it. And it's strange. It's going to be really different, but he's been very careful about, taking all the necessary precautions to make sure that we're following all the ordinances in the city that we're shooting in, and everybody's got to maintain a distance and have their masks when they're not speaking, and stay apart from each other, which is so weird to me, but it is what it is. Just I'm going to roll with it. And
Yeah.
It's sad. Most of the industry is shut down right now. Everybody's so bored that all celebrities have a podcast.
Yeah.
And some of them are quite awful. They're pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't actually listen to a lot of podcasts. I'm usually too busy making my own and doing it. I'm so glad to finally be back on set again myself, because a couple weeks ago we finally got back on. We're going on. We have an on-set nurse now, just trying to do everything we can to make everybody safe, keep everybody safe. Unfortunately, I don't know what's wrong with my throat because I was in the basement of an abandoned warehouse for like 13, 14 hours on Saturday filming. So now I have I
Oh
have some
gosh.
allergy issues, I think. But that was Saturday. Loved every minute of it. I was exhausted by the end of the day. But yeah, it is so great to be back on sets again because I've
Yeah.
missed it tremendously. And
So that's that good exhaustion. That's that
yes,
I accomplished something that I missed so much kind of exhaustion.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah,
What was that
I
about?
got demoted. I started out as a producer on this one, and now I'm
Oh,
actually holding the boom pole now because independent film, you kind of step in where you have to get it done.
yes, definitely, definitely. I've had a couple. Well, a friend of mine, Jess Paul, is an indie film actress too. Her movie just made it to the Austin Revolution Film Festival, and it's called Galatea. So she is the producer, the director, and the main character. Well, one of the main characters of that film. And she was just talking about the same thing. I've seen it firsthand. When you're in an indie film, you will do anything to make it work. You will
Oh
take
yeah,
any position given to you.
yep. You have to. You have to be able to roll with it, or you'll never get it done. If you let something defeat you early on, you're never going to get it finished. And
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
I was telling a little bit about the story of the of Reggie. I was never cast as Reggie, and it was a movie called 6 Feet Below Hell. It actually spent like 2.5, almost 3 years on Redbox. For some reason, they kept it running there the whole time. I guess it was popular enough that they kept it running. But
That's
it was a lot of fun.
cool.
I was cast as a different character entirely, and like 12, 17 hours, something like that, before the first day of shooting, the person scheduled to play Reggie backed out. He
Oh,
just sent a message to the director and said, "Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do this. Sorry." And
mm,
he was on set the next day, supposed to be on set. My
oh,
character, I wasn't due on set for a couple of weeks, so of course the director's freaking out and having a cow. So I just got a hold of him. I said, "Well, I can step in as Reggie. That'll give you a couple weeks to fill my old role. I don't care one way or another, whatever we need to do to get it done." So
right.
I stepped in as Reggie, and that's the day I got there that morning, and we lost our set and had to
Mm.
transition. We got about 2 hours before we found another location to film, and we still that was why I had to ad lib everything, and we still ended on time for the day. So I love independent film, especially working with this is William Lee with Cinema Lexicon. He is unstoppable. He's a powerhouse, and I
Awesome.
I call him the guerrilla filmmaker because there are parts of one of the movies that was released recently we were in. There are parts of it that are filmed on an iPhone with very limited. I think it was just him and a couple of cast members running through a hospital where we had no permission to film,
Oh,
recording on an iPhone.
that's amazing. You need behind the scenes footage for that kind of stuff. You cannot make it up. You cannot make that up.
Yeah, that's the stuff I love about the low budget, micro budget indie filmmaking is
Yes.
you do what you have to do to get it done.
Yeah. And a lot of the times it makes you feel like that inner child in you gets to come out, especially working on indie projects. Like running through a hospital with an iPhone totally sounds like me in ninth grade.
Yeah, just recording stuff you shouldn't be recording. But
Yeah, like there's ghosts here. Like run.
yeah,
Dirty
yeah,
syringes on the floor. Oh, those must be from the 1900s. Like
well, no, they
very
were
naive.
they were filming what was supposed to be a patient escaping from the hospital, which could have turned out very bad.
Yeah, I can see how were they in a wheelchair?
No, I don't think so. I think they were in a gown, but not.
Oh goodness. I
So
hope they
yeah,
had flip-flops on.
yeah,
Just
it was.
do it from the ankle up.
Yeah, they made it work, and I love them for it. It's fantastic that you get to be part of weird stories like that you normally wouldn't.
Definitely.
Now, you said you started out in musical theater. Did you do just regular theater, musical theater only? Because I started out in theater, but I've never done musical.
Oh, both. I do it all. I love dancing, singing, acting, modeling. Everything in that whole realm is what makes me who I am and why I am the way I am today. A lot of people look at me and they're like, why does she make so many faces? I make the craziest faces sometimes. I've tried to stop, like, even when I ask the director or whoever's filming to please stop on that one section because I'd like to redo a part, I'll be like, can you pause it? And my face will just be like completely contorted. I'm like, was I about to smile? Because I was supposed to be happy there. I mean, it turns into a smile, but I dare you to try to find a good shot of me on pause from this stream because I just move around so much.
Now, are you
So,
partial, as an actor, are you partial to the live performance or partial to film?
I'm half and half.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I loved doing the Rocky Horror Picture Show musical where I played Janet. That was so much fun. You can't, like, having a live audience right there it makes you try harder. It makes you, like, when people are applauding you as you're going, it just makes you keep going. Like, just like with comedy.
It's an energy exchange.
Yes,
The more they
absolutely.
give you, the more you give them back.
And if they throw something at you, even better. Even better. It's like, wow, I hate you so much because you're awesome. Like, thank you. This is where perfect timing too, because this is where I'm supposed to shoot a glance. You know?
Yeah. I got to play one character that was absolutely hated, and that was so much fun. It was The Foreigner. I got to play Owen Musser in The Foreigner, and he is a backwards racist jerk, and I got to play that character, and it was fun. It was weird, but it was fun to be hated. Just because it was like the better job you did, the more they're going to hate you.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I have similar experiences with reality TV, which I swear I will never step foot into that realm again, where I was the hated one.
Oh, you did? What was the show?
I actually
you don't want to talk about it?
I can talk about the experience, but I'm not going to shout that show out.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was 7 years ago actually now, and it was at the time where, and I'm not saying that I smoke marijuana now, but I did then, and everybody they came to me and it was like an intervention, like as if I was on a kind of a hard drug or something, and they all were like, and it was being filmed. They were like, we think that you really need to stop smoking weed. It's so bad for you. And I'm like, are we in the 1950s right now? And I couldn't do it. I was like, I have to go. Like, that's that. Because they were trying to demonize me for that, amongst other things. And, like, you know how it is with reality TV. The producer wants to start drama that doesn't even. And I'm like, I don't need this in my life. This is so bad. Like, I don't want this. And I was on some fun reality shows like Texas Flip and Move. That was a fun one. I won a house.
Oh, nice. Well, you can't beat that if you win a house. I want to go on that reality show and try to win a house now.
Right. Totally fun. It's so much fun. And just working with great people all the time. Even if I'm not a main character in something and I'm just getting called on as an extra for something, like in Chicago, we do Chicago PD and all of the other, like Chicago Fire, Chicago PD. They had a bunch of Chicago blanks. So I was always in all of those a lot, because I knew the director, the agent for, who was it? You can cut that part out because I can't remember who I know them through. Yeah. And then I worked with Next Model Talent Agency. So I was with Next for a while and did a lot of voiceovers, did a lot of stuff for the radio, like all of our mattresses must go. No, I'm just kidding. I never did a mattress one, but it was a lot of fun. I really love voiceovers because I can change my voice a lot.
Yeah,
Happens a
that's
lot.
fun. That's fun. Can you
Yeah.
give me some voices? Can you give me some examples?
Sure. Give me a theme.
A theme.
Yes. Like, what is this? Like, what am I doing a commercial for?
Oh, I don't even know. Exterminators.
Okay.
Zombie exterminators. There.
Have the zombies been getting at you lately? Is that AK just simply not working? Well, call the zombie exterminators. 1-800-345-ZOMBIE. We're here for you. Zombie. Zombie. I don't know.
Perfect.
I
Perfect.
mean, yeah. Echo, echo, echo. Add sound effects.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I do.
I'll try to do it up a little bit just to make the zombie exterminator commercial that much better on my show.
Yes. No pesticides needed.
Yeah, just a
Or we could do the down
taser
home.
and a baseball bat.
Yes. All you need is a taser and a baseball bat. You got zombies at your back porch? Don't worry about it. Grandpa over there turning into right? It's all right. We'll handle that for you. Give us a call.
Nice. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect.
Workable?
Yeah. What? So, how'd you get started in voiceovers? Was it just an audition? You randomly said that might be fun, or you said
was
you
a
worked in
random
radio
thing.
a little bit? So,
Yes. Yeah, it was a very random thing. I just auditioned for it and it happened. I haven't done anything major, but well, the commercials that I've done have been major, but I haven't, I'm not like, I've done Macy's, but I haven't done multiple Macy's. Like, I wasn't the voice for it. I've done it in different states. And I also did a lot of Macy's fashion shows, actually. So I have worked with Macy's a few times. And different in Chicago mostly is where a lot of my work happened, and New Jersey for some reason. So I did, a lot of commercials. I can't even honestly name half of them. Things for malls, random things like sales. Everybody loves sales.
oh yeah, you
BOGO.
gotta- See, that's what I need to get into. Just loan my voice, get my voice off of the Life radio show a little bit, and do some commercials.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's probably hiring for that right now. I just got hired for another podcast to do a 1950s horror episodic type show. So I'm really excited for that. Yeah.
I have done a couple of those. I was part of Dayton Writers Movement, did the Unwritten podcast, and I got to
Ooh.
be part of that. Their season 2, I was Chuck, nominated for an Audioverse award, so that was fun. Didn't win a damn thing, but I was nominated, so that's what.
Nominated.
I guess
That's a big
what.
deal,
Yeah,
too.
I guess that's nice, but.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, but like then you're salty because you didn't
Right,
actually.
exactly, because I should have won. No.
Yeah, it should have been me.
Right. Why wasn't it?
Completely get it.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna harbor I'm gonna harbor resentment until the end of time.
Right, because I should have won for my first time doing audio drama. I should have won that award.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't imagine the stress that you must have felt.
It was tough. It was a lot of antacid, the ulcers. It's just
Goodness.
it's rough. It was rough for
The
such a.
hemorrhoids. I'm so sorry.
I appreciate that. Well, I think we're going to
I'm
take
here for you.
Well, I think we're going to take a real short break, and when we come back, we're going to have some more with Tina Marie, and we're going to probably talk about some stupid news stories. Some important news stories, some definitely important.
Yes.
This is the news you won't get on the networks because they're too busy following two old rich guys around trying to decide who they want to vote for. But we'll be back in a few minutes on the Live radio show. Don't go anywhere.
remember that the most important thing to remember is that you should remember things. So like, because you don't want to forget stuff. Because if you forget stuff, then you won't remember it. So be sure you take some time today to just reflect on remembering stuff. So, all right, I think that's pretty much everything. Yeah, just remember stuff.
It was a bad day, it was a sad day, though I did everything I could to change what my mind was thinking about, over to something good. But it's got no button and it's got no switch, as much as I wanted to. And I can't paint yellow and I can't paint red, thoughts that are so completely blue. And I wanna figure it out, I wanna know just what brings me down. Everybody's got it, but nobody wants it. Everybody's got it, but nobody wants that vague dread of life. The vague dread of life that's got me down. Somebody down, walking aimless on the road, smile to show you understand. It might reduce their load, cause we've all been there before. As hard as it is to admit, we just go there at different times, and we all think our own pain is more legitimate. It's time to see that our pain is all the same. Everybody's got it, but nobody wants it. Everybody's got it, but nobody wants that vague dread of life. The vague dread of life that gets us down. But if it weren't for the vague dread of life, the rest wouldn't be so beautiful.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Chris Verstalia, Breaking the Fourth Wall. If you enjoy our show, you can find it on YouTube. Just look up Realm of the Mist Entertainment, or just look up Realm of the Mist Entertainment on Anchor.fm, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or wherever quality podcasts can be heard. And also you can find us on all the social medias. Just look for Realm of the Mist Entertainment. And I will catch you on the other side.
Hey, this is Don Smith. I want to take a minute to tell you about The Devil's Apple, a new book by my friend William Morris. It's the true and brutally honest story about Bill's own battle with addiction. It was written for those struggling to overcome addiction as well as those watching a loved one struggle. In Bill's own words, you work just as hard to be an addict as you do to be clean and sober. You can find The Devil's Apple on Amazon.com, and for a limited time you can get it for free on the Kindle app.
This house is a f***ing prison on planet bullshit! In the galaxy of this sucks camel dicks.
Welcome back to the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith. We are Zooming with Tina Marie from the Psychedelic podcast. Have to get it correct. I'm
with
glad
the hyphen.
With a hyphen. I'm glad you stuck around. We have some news stories that we have to cover, and I always enjoy my guests' input on them. Now, keep in mind that most of these I have not seen before, and I'm actually pulling them up as we're talking. because that way we're on fairly equal ground as far as what we make of these news stories. So a man in France has accidentally blown up part of his house while trying to chase a fly with an electric swatter. The man in his 80s was eating dinner on Friday evening when he became annoyed by a fly buzzing around him. He picked up an electronic fly swatter, took aim at him, and as he was unaware of a gas cylinder leaking in his home in the village of Parceau-Chenot, a reaction occurred between the swatter and the gas, causing an explosion and part of his kitchen to blow up. The blast also damaged a section of his roof, and the house is currently uninhabitable. Somehow the man managed to escape the catastrophe with just a burn to his hand. His family are repairing the home while he resides at a local campsite. It is unknown what happened to the fly.
Oh my gosh. That is incredible.
I'm so glad that they tried to report on the condition of the fly and just weren't able to. My guess is
very important.
That fly, because this poor guy is residing now at a campsite with all kinds of bugs.
Wait, oh, that's his karma. That's karma.
Is terrible. That is terrible. I have to wonder if that fly is now seeking him out at that campsite just to make his life a little more miserable.
Probably. I mean, I hope he has a porta potty, but then again, I think they can get in those too. Also, he must not have had insurance, which is why he thought it was okay to run around with those zapper things. What are they called again?
The electronic fly swatter.
Yeah, electronic fly swatter. So, and his family is repairing the home, so no insurance on the house.
Right. Yeah, it's see, my concern is that this gentleman's in his 80s, and sometimes you get to a certain age, your brain doesn't, he might not quite understand why the house blew up, and he might now have a constant fear of flies.
Why are they sending this poor guy to a campsite? Why isn't he staying with his family? What's going on?
Or at least a hotel or something. Nope. Send Pappy to the campsite so he can get annoyed by more flies and mosquitoes and every other insect you can possibly imagine. That he's now going to be terrified to take a swat at just in case those ones blow up too.
Maybe perhaps this is a lesson for him, because maybe they're like, we're tired of you chasing flies around. Maybe he has like a pre-existing phobia of a flying insect and it really freaked him out, and they're like, we're going to send you to this camp where you're going to learn all about how a lot of insects fly and you won't be able to kill all of them. So
it's like for him, this is like going to like the Museum of Tolerance or something like that. That's so he can learn to live this symbiotic relationship with the insects around him,
amongst the flies.
Right. That makes far more sense. Because I remember my grandfather once. My dad's dad lived down in Tennessee, and we came to his house once, and there was a big chunk of his porch missing. Just like a probably 3-inch chunk off the corner of the porch was missing because he tried to shoot a wasp with a shotgun. So I can see this happening. I understand what's going on with this poor man. We could be related.
That's amazing. I mean, do you have French in you? You said it was in France, right?
It is in France. I don't think there's any French in me that I'm aware of, but it's hard to say. Most of my family is from Eastern Tennessee, so you don't know what is mixed in there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's funny. I'm allergic to wasps. Every time I see one, what's funny is I'm allergic to them, but they get in the house all the time, and I don't like killing things, even flies. I don't know why. Maybe it's the crunchy sound or just like the grossness of a dead small animal. But I'll open the door and the fly will just go, or the wasp will just leave. No big deal.
I'm not a fan of wasps. I don't like to kill most things, especially spiders. Some people are deathly afraid of spiders. I try to keep them around because they take out a lot of more annoying insects for me.
Yes.
So it cuts down on the work I have to do. So
I have the most beautiful, we have the most beautiful golden orb weaver or banana spider. I've been given 4 different names for this thing right outside the door right there. And she is huge. She's about this big.
oh wow.
And she just I watched her get this tiny little bee. I don't even know if you could call it a bee. The tiny little things, but they look like bees, but they're not as plump. And
like,
she
like
just,
what are the mayflies or something like that?
it looks like kind of like that. Yeah, she was about that big. Took it, like wrapped it up, and like zip lined up into another area. That's the other name, writing spider. So she had these X's like all the way down on a separate web from the one she caught it in. And she was just like wrapping it up. And I was like, I'm going to hire that bug to wrap my Christmas presents. It was amazing.
Yeah, they do a heck of a job. Spiders are fascinating to watch. I mean, I don't particularly want them on me or like in my immediate living space, but
me neither.
Yeah, I'm not as comfortable with that, but they are fascinating creatures. That's for sure. Speaking of fascinating creatures, let's go to Florida. Authorities in Florida said a pickup truck had to be fished out of a retention pond outside of a courthouse when the driver's boot became stuck on the accelerator while he was attempting to park. The Florida Highway Patrol said the 64-year-old Largo man was attempting to park at Pinellas Justice Center in Clearwater when his boot became stuck on the accelerator and the truck went over the raised curb, crashed through the fence, and plunged into the retention pond. The driver was able to exit the vehicle and return to shore safely with assistance from the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office personnel. He was not injured. A tow truck was brought to the scene and fished the pickup truck out of the water. So that's just a bad day right there.
That sounds terrible. I wonder where he was going.
Well, to court. I would probably for a traffic violation. That'd have been even worse. Why were you late? I was in the pond.
Yeah, that's like my dog ate my homework to a job. They're just gonna be like 10 days in jail.
Yeah. They just don't even mess with him at that time.
Yeah, I mean that's a great excuse to not make it to court, though.
Yeah, I would hope that that's acceptable. I would hope that they would accept that.
Depends on the county.
Because there aren't a lot of great excuses to miss court. There probably aren't a whole lot that they would be okay with if they. And I'm sure this was the talk of the court. It's not like not like they couldn't look out the window and see this big GMC pickup truck being yanked up out of the retention pond. It's probably a fairly.
Yeah. If I was a judge speaking amongst other judges during their 4-hour breaks, I would definitely, it would be talked about, right? And how can you go back into a courtroom and not just let everybody off the hook because you cannot stop laughing? I mean, it's great. I'm glad he's okay. It wouldn't be laughable if he wasn't, but how would you be able to do your job after hearing a story like that happening right outside of the courthouse?
That would definitely bring some attention to it. It would definitely bring a little excitement to the day in court.
Yes. Free lunches for everybody. I mean, this just happened.
A Nebraska man's plea to the Lincoln City Council is going viral after he passionately laid out the case for the city restaurants and stores to stop claiming chicken tenders are boneless chicken wings. This is very important, yeah. Ander Christensen, 27, whose father, Roy Christensen, is a Lincoln City councilman, appeared before the governing body at a public meeting and encouraged the city, quote, to be a social leader in this country. We have been casually ignoring a problem that has gotten so out of control that our children are throwing around names and words without even understanding their true meaning, treating these things as though they're normal. I go into a nice family restaurants and I see people throwing this name around and pretending as though everything is just fine. He said, I'm talking about boneless chicken wings. Of all the issues facing our world today.
The South.
This was Nebraska. So yeah, that's still, I don't know. Is that, we can let the South have them. After-
It correlates.
Yeah.
That happens. I mean, wow. I mean, boneless chicken wings are gross, and I don't get them either. But come on. I mean, the word irregardless is now a word in the dictionary.
Yeah, so we might as well have boneless chicken wings.
Yeah, I guess it has to happen. Are you a fan of boneless chicken wings?
I like the bone-in chicken wings, but I'll eat a boneless chicken wing every now and then, but I understand what they are. I'm not going to go to city council and try to get them to change the name, that's I don't have that kind of time. I like the fact that his dad was on the city council as well. It's like, okay, go home, Junior. Get back in the basement, play your video games, leave me alone.
I wonder if he had some type of traumatic experience with boneless chicken wings. Like at prom, a whole platter just got dropped on his head like he was Carrie during the prom scene.
That is a possibility. Yeah, they voted him prom king just to pelt him with boneless chicken wings.
Everybody did it. I mean, there was Jimmy, there was June, there was Juniper, all the Johnnies of Nebraska.
Oh, and there are a lot. That's like half of their graduating class was all.
Oh yeah, Johnnies. All 14 of them.
Yeah, half of that was several of the girls too were also Johnnies. So
they were Johnnies with a Y, most of them.
Right.
Yeah.
I was thinking Jonni. You don't put the E after it.
Some of them. 2%.
I'm glad you had the actual statistics. Some of my guests just believe what I say. I am glad you have the numbers to back it up when you count.
I was there. I'm Johnny.
Oh, okay.
I started the trend.
Now, how do you feel? Well, you already said how you feel about boneless chicken wings. You're not a fan.
Yeah.
So you are in the same camp as Christensen, as Ander Christensen, which.
Yes, but I was projecting my anger. I was projecting.
Understandable. All right, firefighters responded to a beach in Florida to help a man with an unusual problem. A nurse shark latched onto his arm. Witness Jeremy Porter captured photos and video in Jensen Beach when a man came out of the water cradling a nurse shark that had latched onto his arm. Lifeguards summoned Martin County fire personnel who can be seen in video footage pouring alcohol on the shark's face. Why? That just to get him drunk? That's weird. In an attempt to get it to let go of the man's arm, Porter said the shark finally let go of the arm after about 20 minutes and was returned to the water, staggering. Experts said nurse sharks are docile and normally not dangerous, but have been known to bite if provoked. So he had a nurse shark latched to his arm, and they decided to get it drunk.
So when he let go, did he let go the nurse shark? Did she or he let go with the arm still attached?
I believe so. I believe that did not take the arm back as a souvenir. But I just want to point out, as a nurse shark, they're trying to get it drunk so it'll let go. And I don't know if these folks understand this. I've known a lot of nurses in my day, and it tends to take them a lot to get drunk. A lot of the nurses I know are party animals, and they're going to take quite a bit to get drunk.
That makes sense. I can see why. I mean,
well, it's a stressful job. I work in the medical field. I'm a maintenance man. I know a lot of these nurses, and there's some wild ones.
Oh wow, that's why most of them are pretty. Yeah, there are some really pretty nurses out there, and you go, oh, she definitely parties.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, nursing school is like a little sorority.
Yeah, the ones that don't party are all like Nurse Ratched from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Those are the ones that don't party much. You can usually tell. It just a lot of times just by their facial expressions.
That's
you can
hilarious.
tell which nurses don't party. All right, Let's see what else we got. Oh, here's a bright one. Joseph Koberl knows how to keep it cool. The Austrian has managed to spend 2 hours, 30 minutes, and 57 seconds inside a custom-made glass box filled up to his shoulders with ice cubes, wearing nothing but swim trunks. I'm fighting the pain by visualizing drawing on positive emotions so I can dampen this wave of pain, Coburl told reporters Saturday as a small crowd gathered in a town of Melk to watch the feat. That way I can endure. Coburl, the Associated Press says, beat his own record from 2019 by 30 minutes. It reportedly took more than 440 pounds of ice to fill up the box, all for a Guinness World Record to beat his own record. That I don't understand. It's like you already had it.
He was afraid somebody else was going to take it.
Yeah, I guess if somebody's going to beat your own record, it might as well be you.
That's a fantastic point.
Coburl is planning to beat his own record one more time next year in Los Angeles. His team claims that his personal record is also the current world record when it comes to exposing his body to ice for as long as possible. I guess if you're going to have a hobby, this one doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Oh, I can't imagine, trying to beat your own record and losing your limbs over something so random and niche. Right. I mean, there's a lot of niche stuff in the Guinness Book of World Records, but really, I do. I answered my own question. I was going to say who even reads those anymore, but I do. So, wow.
I'll
have to look out for that.
I report a lot of them on the show. I reported a lot of the more unusual Guinness World Records because I found out that if you want to get a Guinness World Record, you don't really have to do anything extremely impressive. You just have to do something so random that nobody's done it yet.
Yes. Gather a whole party of people and everybody do the chicken at the same time for 12 minutes.
Yeah, that's probably been done.
Yeah. See, okay.
Because
there goes my hopes and dreams.
It might still be open. I don't know, but it's.
I'll look into it. It's on my bucket list.
Okay. It's hard to find something random enough to still be the first one to ever do it.
That's so unfortunate.
Yeah, but that's all you have to do is just find that one weird random thing that nobody has done yet.
I wonder if anybody's picked their nose so hard they gave themselves a lobotomy.
Would that be something to get in the record for or a medical journal?
Both.
Okay. Furthest finger has gone up the nose You have to have a really long finger for that.
Or fingernails. You know how they have the people with the nails that curl and that freaks me out. I don't like those ones. Yeah. When I hear about those stories, no, please.
All right, we'll do one more. A husband who was asked by his wife to spruce up their garden decided to surprise her with a 12-foot tall T-Rex instead. Adrian Shaw, 52 years old, purchased the 14-stone resin and fiberglass dinosaur this is a British paper, for 1,600 pounds in place of a garden gnome his wife Deborah asked him to buy. The dinosaur, named Dave, was strategically lifted into the couple's garden in Leamington Spa by crane. All of which took place while Deborah, who was none the wiser, was out running errands. Adrian, who has 2 grown-up sons, said, "This project is a result of my wife's request to make the garden look nice." And there's not much of a garden left. There is a picture on here, and there is not much of a garden left. It just looks like a couple of random plants in a pot and some crushed brick and a huge T-Rex dinosaur right in the middle of it. It's just, yeah. If you want to see the picture, go to mirror.co.uk under the weird news, and you can see this picture, and it's definitely unique. There probably aren't a whole lot of people that choose a 12-foot T-Rex over the standard garden gnome.
Yeah, it sounds like a cross between a midlife crisis and good taste.
Yeah,
gnomes are tacky.
The gnomes are tacky. Yeah, they are a little bit. Everybody's doing it. Everybody has. Yeah, I want to.
Yeah, that's why it's tacky.
T-Rex, mostly because just to make the neighbors mad. I'd put it right out in the front yard. I'd have it.
I wonder how the HOA would handle that, though.
I don't have one where I live, and it's probably a good thing, or I'd have fought with them enough by now to have been kicked out of the area.
Do you just set random bonfires all over the place? Like, what's going on over there?
Well, I'm never home, so that's I'm hardly ever home. Even with COVID, I'm not home much, and when I am home, I'm recording episodes. So I don't get out much these days, but I'm never home, which is a weird paradox.
Yeah, that's an anomaly.
Yeah, it's hard to do. It takes a lot of concentration and a lot of work to never go anywhere but never be home.
That is
and you thought you were the ninja.
Yeah, I can't even fathom that sentence right now. I can't.
All right, I'm going to give you a couple minutes right now if you have any social media you want to throw out there. And, of course, you can tell us where to find your podcast and anything else you want to promote. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to do that right now. So take it away, Tina Marie.
Okay, so my Instagram, which I'm trying to build, is @Asian Ranch Sauce because it's a cool name. Our podcast Instagram is @psyche.delicpodcast. My Facebook, don't make fun of me, facebook.com/sick tired. I was going through an emo phase. It used to be Bow for Your Queen. And from there, you can find our podcast, which is the Psychedelic Podcast Facebook page. We're growing pretty well on that page. So I'm super excited about it. If you want to catch my live streams, they're on both. So you can just click follow, click like, and you can find us anywhere: Apple, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, Alexa. We're on Podbean just like you are. So it's the Psyche, here's my cat, _Delic Podcast. And it's Psyche, PSYCHE-Delic. It's a play on words because I'm very punny. And our link tree, I'll give it to you for your description, is https://linktr.ee/the Psychedelic Podcast. There's not a hyphen there. So pretty confusing, but you can find me just by looking up Tina Marie Trimpert anywhere, TRIMPERT. Just Google it and everything will pop up.
All right. Do you have any films coming up or any projects you're working on now or anything getting ready to be released that we can throw out there as well?
Well, currently no, but we're working with Bill Foster this weekend. So look out for Showdown on the Brazos. Yep, it's Brazos. So look out for that. It's going to be fun. It's an 1880s time period piece that I'm super excited about because why not? I mean, I've never done anything Wild West. I don't really see myself as a Wild West person, but it's super, super exciting. And Bill's an amazing director, amazing guy. Like, definitely check that out. Find his IMDb and look him up. Check him out.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being on the show. It was great talking to you and getting to know you a little bit. And thanks for listening to the Life Radio Show. As I keep telling you, if you're going to keep listening, I'm going to keep making them. All right. Have a great night. Thanks for listening to the Life Radio Show podcast. Check it out wherever you listen to podcasts. Remember, if you want to listen live, we are on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM. You can also stream the show live at wwsu1069.org, and we go Facebook Live at the Life Radio Show's Facebook page. If you have suggestions or comments, feel free to email thelife1069@gmail.com.
Presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence.
You can cut that part out.